Chapter 1. Boot Sequence Default. The tomb world of Khepra 9 had slumbered for 60 million years, its obsidian spires stretching into the dim void of space like skeletal fingers. Deep within its labyrinthine halls, the silent sarcophagi lay untouched, cobwebs of ancient energy drifting like cosmic dust. Then, without warning, a tremor rippled through the planet's core, the prelude to the awakening of a dynasty whose humor subroutines had long since degraded. Power surged through the colossal conduits, sparks arcing in the gunmetal corridors. The rebooted ones stirred from their eons-long sleep, each pod opening with a hiss of hydraulics and a chorus of groans reminiscent of malfunctioning vending machines. Systems flickered and buzzed. System log, boot sequence, failed. Attempting backup, corrupted. At the center of the awakening chamber, atop a dais carved from blackened necrodermis, rose their leader, Overlord Zyn-Tek the recently reinstalled. His polished gunmetal armor shimmered under crimson energy circuits, his optics scanning the tomb with the majesty of a king and the confusion of someone who had just discovered his Wi-Fi wasn't working. "Who authorized a system update without my consent?" Zyn-Tek's modulator crackled. From the shadows, Cryptek Nullvox the Interrupter scrambled to stabilize the tomb's mainframe. "My lord, the humor subroutines have overridden core combat protocols," he reported, his voice modulator glitching mid-sentence into sarcastic echoes. "Prepare to mock everything." Repeatedly. Zyn-Tek tilted his head, glowing crimson optics narrowing. "Excellent. Let the sarcasm commence." Around them, their forces rose with metallic clanks and jittery servo motors. Captain Hexator, the self-proclaimed Lord of Dramatic Reboots, attempted a grand salute, but instead collided with a support pillar, sending sparks flying. The three sergeants, Clankis Prime, Nullbit, and Phaeronette, assembled at attention, each embodying a unique brand of dysfunction. Clankis believed stealth could be achieved by sheer confidence. Nullbit pondered the existential ramifications of immortality every 5 seconds. And Phaeronette narrated all events in the third person for dramatic effect. Their tomb world, once untouched, now bore traces of recent colonization. A modest Tau research outpost, complete with satellite dishes, solar panels, and a baffling obsession with nutrient optimization data. Zyn-Tek's optics flared. "Fish with Wi-Fi. Prepare for reclamation. Also, find their routers." The army of the rebooted ones advanced. Gauss weapons charged with a whine like a malfunctioning guitar. Every step was accompanied by sarcastic commentary, from Nullvox shouting, "Reboot complete, now with 20% more existential dread," to Phaeronette declaring, "Sergeant Clankis stealthily does nothing." The Tau, initially confident, soon found themselves bewildered. The rebooted ones didn't merely shoot, they mocked. Every vaporized fire warrior was accompanied by mechanical jeers. "Nice aim, fleshy. Really professional." Captain Hexator wielded his smite stick of infinite sass, swinging with style and commentary in equal measure. "You call that armor? My nanobots laugh at your weak plating." By the time the dust settled, the Tau fled, not out of fear, but because no intelligent species could withstand an army that laughed at them while disintegrating them. Overlord Zyn-Tek surveyed the battlefield, the smoke curling around his crimson energy circuits like banners of victory. The rebooted ones have returned. Let the galaxy be mildly inconvenienced. The dynasty had awoken, glitching, sarcastic, and dangerously powerful. And somewhere deep in the catacombs, the tombs awaited further chaos. The first reboot was complete. Chapter 2: Vocation of War. Weeks had passed since the awakening of the rebooted ones, and Khepra 9 hummed with the sound of half-functioning servos and sarcastic chatter. The tomb world had become a hub of constant software updates, debugging protocols, and passive-aggressive comments aimed at every cosmic species within transmission range. At the central dais, Overlord Zyn-Tek paced, crimson circuits flaring like a frustrated traffic light. Warriors of Khepra 9, today we initiate Update 2.0, codename Fermi Fury. His modulator buzzed, each syllable punctuated with dramatic static. Cryptek Nullvox approached with the Wi-Faeron Beacon, a relic that doubled as both morale booster and interstellar speaker system. It blared distorted motivational messages, looping phrases such as "Excellent disintegration, warrior," and "Error 404, fear not found." The rebooted ones responded with mechanical claps that echoed like 1,000 malfunctioning metronomes. Captain Hexator flourished his smite stick of infinite sass, pausing mid-swing to critique the armor plating of an enemy training dummy. "You call that defense?" My nanobots would be embarrassed. The first target for Update 2.0 was a nearby human Agrana world. The humans had the audacity to continue farming while the galaxy was in chaos. Zyn-Tek demanded they surrender their nutrient optimization algorithms or face deletion. Predictably, they refused. The rebooted ones advanced, not with silent precision, but with flair. Sergeant Phaeronette narrated every step in excruciating detail. Clankis Prime takes 2 servo steps forward, turns slightly, and hums a tune from 38th Millennium Earth Pop. Nullbit sighs existentially, Gauss weapons discharged in a series of arcs and pops, each accompanied by sarcastic commentary from Nullvox. Every hit on human defenders triggered an overlay of glitchy voice lines. "Your accuracy is suboptimal. Please reinstall yourself." Despite the absurdity, the humans were overwhelmed. Their fortified walls fell not to firepower alone, but to the relentless, mocking perfection of the rebooted one's humor subroutines. By the time the sun set, the planet's atmosphere was cleared of any resistance, and the rebooted ones claimed the planet's central communication hub as their new headquarters. Amid the ruins, the rebooted ones discovered an ancient Mechanicus relic, the ChronoCup of Eternal Refills. It promised endless energy replenishment, but also sporadically blasted elevator music from the 41st millennium. Zyn-Tek accepted it, muttering, "Finally, a cup that insults my enemies automatically." As the chapter closed, the rebooted ones had successfully expanded their influence, not merely through conquest, but by demonstrating that even death can be delivered with a punchline. Their reboot was ongoing. The galaxy would never be the same. Chapter Thesis: The Dreadnought That Judged Too Hard. Deep within the catacombs of Khepra 9, Cryptek Nullvox stumbled across a sealed chamber bearing a warning in ancient binary. Do not reboot, seriously. Naturally, curiosity and corrupted protocols overruled caution. With a hiss and a spark, the massive doors ground open to reveal a tomb sentinel, 011-011-Z, the Eternal Side-Eye. Its optics were locked in a permanent squint, giving the impression of ceaseless judgment. Once the pinnacle of Necron military might, Z had been decommissioned centuries ago for passive-aggressive insubordination. "Behold," Nullvox announced, "the ultimate advisor, or the galaxy's sassiest complaint department." When activated, Z emitted a resonant sigh that caused nearby rebooted ones to question their life choices. Statement, "Expected more," echoed through the chamber. Even the Overlord's circuits flickered in momentary embarrassment. Despite its personality, Z proved invaluable. When the rebooted ones faced an Ork freebooter fleet, the Dreadnought's eye of disapproval lowered enemy accuracy by 25%. Orks fired wildly, missing everything, while Zyn-Tek quipped, "I didn't know judgment could be lethal. Apparently it can." The Sentinel became both a strategic asset and a silent critic, following Overlord Zyn-Tek with measured disdain. When asked for tactical advice, Z simply sighed. It became a familiar sound, a metallic, disapproving whoosh, like the universe itself was being mildly scolded. With Z's presence, the rebooted ones conquered their next engagement swiftly. Human and Ork alike learned the terror of sarcasm paired with disintegration. One wrong move, one snarky line from a massive machine, and they were vaporized. By the end of the campaign, Z was installed permanently as the guardian of the Overlord's throne, a sentinel of judgment and accidental comedic relief. Every mission now carried the weight of mechanical mockery alongside actual destruction. The rebooted one's reputation spread, not merely feared, but chuckled at, and never underestimated. Chapter 4. The War of Low Battery. Orbiting the desolate moon of Fractau 7, disaster struck. The rebooted ones, ever majestic in their glitchy glory, faced a crisis that no programming could have predicted. Low energy reserves. Cryptek Nullvox panicked, frantically scanning the starry void. "My lord! We require immediate power input. Our circuits are critically low." Zyn-Tek's optics flickered crimson, a warning light of frustration. "And whose idea was it to install my power conduit into a plasma TV?" he asked, voice modulator crackling with sarcasm. Perpetrator, the rebooted ones scavenged for energy sources, scouring the battlefield and looting a nearby Chaos Warband's shrine. It was here they discovered a legendary weapon, the Gigalex Gauss Blaster, pulsing with distorted laughter energy harvested from corrupted demon engines. Captain Hexator lifted the weapon with flourish. Nothing like killing your foes and mocking them simultaneously. Each shot fired both lethal Gauss rounds and bursts of laughter, causing enemy morale to collapse in fits of confusion and hysteria. Sergeant Clankis Prime attempted stealth during the battle, tripping over debris but unintentionally triggering an Ork bomb that obliterated half the enemy lines. Sergeant Nullbit sighed existentially, questioning if annihilating enemies while laughing at them was morally permissible. Sergeant Phaeronette narrated every moment in dramatic detail. Nullbit sighs again. The Orks are gone. They were never funny to begin with. The rebooted ones emerged victorious. They had not only solved their energy crisis by scavenging power cores, but had also added a new, absurdly powerful weapon to their arsenal. Every enemy that fell to the Gigalex Gauss Blaster would forever remember both their demise and the mechanical laughter that accompanied it. Zyn-Tek surveyed the battlefield. Let it be known across the stars. The rebooted ones are efficient, sarcastic, and well-charged. The dynasty cheered. Somewhere in the void, the echoes of laughter from fallen enemies reverberated through space, like a cosmic punchline. The war was over, the batteries were charged, and the galaxy had learned not to underestimate glitchy sarcasm. Chapter 5. The Great System Restore. A cosmic storm raged across the edge of the galaxy, striking the tomb world of Kepra 9 with electrical fury. The Rebooted Ones' core archives, containing eons of battle logs and tactical protocols, suffered massive corruption. Half their memories vanished. The other half were replaced by Necron dating simulator scripts. Overlord Zyn-Tek called an emergency council. His optics flared crimson, scanning the gathered warriors. "We have two options: reformat existence or flirt with destiny." Cryptek Nullvox hesitated. "Sir, I am detecting temporal instability if we attempt both simultaneously." Zyn-Tek shrugged. "We are Necrons. Logic is merely a suggestion." Activating the ChronoCup of Eternal Refills, Nullvox initiated a system restore protocol. Reality warped. For one glorious hour, the Rebooted Ones existed across 5 simultaneous timelines. Benevolent philosophers teaching organic species how to survive 41st millennium bureaucracy. Karaoke champions performing classic war chants with exaggerated flair. Galactic pranksters hiding Tau communication towers in asteroid belts. Epic tacticians planning invasions down to millisecond timing. Main timeline accidentally insulting a Catan shard by calling it a cosmic light bulb. The shard, offended by the unintended mockery, unleashed a barrage of energy. But Tomb Sentinel 011011-Z intervened with its eye of disapproval, lowering the shard's offensive precision and forcing it into implosive shame. The storm subsided. The timelines collapsed back into the main reality, leaving the Rebooted Ones victorious, slightly confused, and thoroughly amused by their own absurdity. Sergeant Clankis Prime quipped, "We just fixed the galaxy by accident." Nullbit sighed. Phaeronette narrated, "They are heroes. They are chaos. They are extremely sarcastic." Zyn-Tek recorded the event in the dynasty's patch notes. System restore completed. Universe mildly improved. Customer satisfaction unknown. From that day forward, the Rebooted Ones' legend spread across the stars, not only for their power, but for their unpredictable, reality-bending humor. Chapter 6. Reboot complete. Eons had passed since their first awkward steps from stasis, and the Rebooted Ones now stood at the edge of the galaxy, overlooking the void with a mixture of triumph and glitchy pride. Their conquest had not created empires, nor had it imposed order, but it had left a trail of laughter, chaos, and slightly annoyed enemies across countless star systems. Overlord Zyn-Tek observed his warriors, circuits shimmering crimson. "Warriors, our destiny is clear. We shall not rest until every organic being experiences the refined art of sarcasm and annihilation." Sergeant Phaeronette raised his gauss staff and narrated, "The Rebooted Ones march onward. Their power undeniable, their humor questionable, but effective." The ChronoCup of Eternal Refills bubbled nearby, occasionally emitting random elevator music from the 41st Millennium Earth Pop, much to the chagrin of nearby units. Captain Hexator polished the Gigalex Gauss blaster, ensuring every shot delivered both plasma and punchlines. Even Tomb Sentinel 011011-Z, the Eternal Side-Eye, emitted a rare display of satisfaction, a slow, approving mechanical nod. Its aura of judgment now complemented the dynasty's chaos perfectly. From their new stronghold on Kepra 9, the Rebooted Ones began broadcasting across the stars. "Greetings, Galaxy! The Rebooted Ones are online. Please stand by for annihilation." And customer satisfaction survey. Imperial forces intercepted the signal, panic rippling through command centers. An Inquisitor squinted at the readout. "Who are these clowns?" Answer: Necrons. But funny and slightly terrifying. Thus concluded the first era of the Rebooted Ones campaign. A dynasty built on sarcasm, glitches, and unstoppable mechanical power. They had carved their legend into the stars, forever remembered as the Necrons who rebooted the galaxy with style. The galaxy trembled. It laughed. And it would never be the same.